Coming up on today's show, Danielle Hunter was linked to the Broncos this upcoming offseason. We'll talk about whether or not that'd be a good fit. And then Courtland Sutton calls out Nathaniel Hackett by name. So we're going to jump into that towards the end of the show. But let's start by talking about Danielle Hunter. So ESPN's Jeremy Fowler put out an article looking at some of the big upcoming free agents and then just loosely what he is hearing. And he linked Denver to the Vikings star pass rusher, who is currently tied with Myles Garrett for the league lead in sacks with 11. Now, the former third-round pick out of LSU has been a true, incredible story this year for a guy that had his contract rewritten, one-year deal, and he is balling out, right? 48 tackles, 11 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles. Danielle Hunter has been one of the best defensive players in football, and he's definitely a contender for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Now, here's what Jeremy Fowler had to say about Hunter. Hunter will be 29 to start the 2024 season, paving the way for a lucrative 3- or 4-year deal at well above $20 million per season. Jacksonville has been a long fan of Hunter's game, but Denver also could be bolster its pass rush. The Broncos are typically unafraid to spend in March. Now, Hunter's coming off another really good season as well, where he had 10.5 sacks last year. Now, unfortunately, he has missed time not too long ago. He missed the entire 2020 season with a neck injury. He missed half of 2021, but he's putting together about 2 straight complete seasons if he continues to stay healthy. Now, compare Hunter to the rest of Denver's edge rushers, and there's really no comparison, right? Cooper's got 4.5 sacks. Bonito's got 5.5. Baron Browning is just working his way back. He's up to 2 sacks on the year. But no, I can't stand here and act like, yeah, Jonathan Cooper, he is just as good as Danielle Hunter. No, that's not a comparison to make here. The Broncos, in my eyes, have 3 really good/good pass rushers in Cooper, Bonito, and Browning. But are any of these guys capable of being more than just a 10-plus sack player, but a 12, 13, 14-plus sack player like Danielle Hunter has been and probably will be this season? That I'm not so sure about. Now, they're still very early on in their careers. Danielle Hunter is at year 7, year 8 of his NFL career, drafted in 2015, and he's just now pretty much hitting the prime. So it's a little early to say, no, Bonito and Cooper and those guys can't be a Danielle Hunter-esque player. But Hunter balling out in a contract year, yeah, I've seen this movie before. Unpopular opinion, maybe I'll really regret this in a year or two, but I'll stick with the current group instead of giving out a ginormous contract like they did for Randy Gregory that fell flat on its face. And hey, I don't think it's fair to compare the 2 players, but I like their current group. I like what they have in Cooper, a 7th-round pick. Bonito in his sophomore year really starting to get into a rhythm. Baron Browning really establishing himself as one of the better edge rushers in our game when he's available. Plus, you can turn to the draft to add some more depth to the position. I think you've got a really good trio right now, and I want to see this trio continue to grow and improve together. Now, in case you're wondering what a Danielle Hunter contract could look like, he's going to cost a lot of money on the open market. I think he could get a 4-year, $100 million contract, $25 million a season, and over a half of it guaranteed. Essentially a 3-year, $60 million contract. Now, Denver has the deepest pockets in the NFL. I mean, the ownership just today unveiled a new $250,000 new field. Jeremy, you want to know why? Did someone run over the stadium? Did they have a whole bunch of geese or something come onto the stadium?
What could have happened?
Nothing. They're just fucking loaded. That's what happened. They just want to spend money. They are addicted to spending money. And that's the best job to be in. Billionaires that are shopaholics. They just go to Amazon Prime and they're like, $250,000 Walmart Plus. Thank you. Good save. $250,000 new field, Walmart Plus. Why not? So when you look at the highest paid edge rushers per year, if Danielle Hunter does get $25 million a season, that's going to put him right with the Myles Garretts of the world. Now, is Danielle Hunter a Myles Garrett? Garrett's been a better player overall and a more consistent player, but he's definitely not very far from Myles Garrett. I think he's better than a Montez Sweat and a Rashawn Gary. It would definitely be a good value ahead of Max Crosby. But overall, if you were in charge, Would you have the Broncos go out and sign Danielle Hunter in 2024? I know this is a ways away. This could not happen until March, but it's still fun to look ahead. We're all guilty of it. Whether your team is at the top of the mountain or at the bottom of the mountain, it's the offseason. It's inevitable. Everyone's always curious about what's up ahead in the future. So if you were calling the shots, would you give Danielle Hunter a shot in this upcoming free agency pool? Now, next up on the show, Broncos player calls out Nathaniel Hackett. I know. Get your popcorn ready. Courtland Sutton had some interesting things to say about his former head coach. Now, before we get to that, I want to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor, Game Time. You should not have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. So with a huge Sunday night football game taking place in the Mile High City this upcoming Sunday between your Broncos and the visiting Minnesota Vikings, don't miss out. Don't be sitting on your couch wishing, I wish I was there right now, but unfortunately, I just couldn't find a fair ticket price. Check out Game Time right now. It's the place to find last-minute seats. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BroncosChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem the code BroncosChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So Courtland Sutton posted this picture on his Instagram story. And let's look at it together. Russell Wilson apology form to Russell Wilson from blank, dated blank. Reasons for behavior. And the first one's going to catch your eye. The media convinced me that Russ was not the problem. Russ was the problem, not Hackett. Let's read that again, but correctly. The media convinced me that Russ was the problem, not Hackett. He didn't say not the coaching. He literally calls out Hackett by name. He also adds, I didn't actually watch the games last season. I'm going to have a little bit of pushback on that one because there were some bad moments from Russell Wilson last year, like missing a wide-open KJ Hamler in the Colts game or throwing a pass that was wide open to his center's helmet in the Texans game. But, okay, I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm a Geno Smith supporter. That's definitely true. They just refuse to quit. How about I only looked at advanced analytics and stats? We all know who that guy is. And here's the thing about those people. They actually don't really know what they're saying. They just look at the charts, and if your guy or your team's in the top right corner of the chart, you just know it's good. But you actually don't, and you have no idea what the X and the Y graphics really mean. Shout out to our coworker, Jack Sperry. I don't know jack shit about football. Yeah, I mean, that's a good chunk of the population, actually. Listen, Russ clearly won this divorce. I mean, if we're power rankings divorce winners, it probably goes Melinda Gates. She won billions of dollars. Whatever Jeff Bezos' ex-wife's name is. And then Russell Wilson. I mean, Russ clearly comes out of this divorce of the 2022 Broncos looking a lot nicer and smelling a lot better than Nathaniel Hackett. Because since the start of last season, Nathaniel Hackett's offenses have scored just one touchdown. In half of the games, he has either been head coach or offensive play caller over in New York. Half of the time, coin flip, are they going to score a touchdown, heads or tails? Think about that as a fan. Just turning on your TV, spending your hard-earned money every Sunday to go see your favorite team. Maybe they score one touchdown this week. It's a 50% chance they do. That is just absolutely criminal coaching. Now, Russ in Denver, you compare the numbers from last year to this season. Of course, a bigger body of work for a year ago, so more yards. But he's already passed his passing touchdowns from a year ago. Interceptions are way down. He has been a lot smarter with the football than he was in 2022. QBR is way up. Is Russell Wilson back to where he was in Seattle and what Denver thought they were getting? No, let's be honest. I mean, if, for example, the Broncos were told, hey, before you trade for Russell Wilson, let's show you his 2023 stats midway through the year. I don't think Denver would give up 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and all those players for Russell Wilson, knowing what they know right now still. But he's definitely way ahead of where he was in 2022. In fact, if you want to prorate his numbers for this season, he's on pace for 3,400 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Like, those are really good numbers. Now, the NFL is a long season, and we know guys have ups and downs. I mean, Russell Wilson back in that year where it was let Russ cook, and they were putting up huge points early in the year. He really cooled off in the second half of the season. So don't take that as the gospel of, oh, he's on pace for 34 TDs, book it right now. But he's definitely having a major bounce back season. And I could see why Courtland Sutton, by the way, would be a little bit happy with the change from going from Hackett to Sean Payton, because he's having a career year. 7 touchdowns, a single season high for Sutton. And we're not even at Christmas. We're not even at Thanksgiving yet. And he's already passed his 2019 season total. Now, the big plays from Sutton are definitely down. The guy's averaging only 10 yards a pop. He has been a red zone target. But over the middle of the field, we get some nice first down pickups from Courtland, but we're not getting those 15, 20-yard plays down the field. This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm going to say this. Russ should win Comeback Player of the Year. And just hear me out for a moment, because producer Jeremy's snickering, so if you want to join in, you're more than welcome to. But right now, Damar Hamlin's the favorite to win. I think the Comeback Player of the Year award should not just be players who come back from horrific injuries, right? Alex Smith won it. Was he awesome that next year? Not necessarily, but it was an incredible story. And the same goes for Damar Hamlin. Like, it's an incredible story. So if you want to have an award for that, let's make a different award. But in terms of actual bouncing back, and that's what Comeback Player of the Year is, right? You weren't good the year before. If you weren't even playing the season prior or playing very little, like, comeback to me means, well, you weren't even there to begin with. So how could you be the Comeback Player of the Year, right? That sounds like Breakout Player of the Year, for example. If you didn't play at all your rookie year and then you explode your sophomore year, that's not Comeback Player of the Year in my eyes. I see Josh Dobbs getting a lot of love for Comeback Player of the Year. Josh Dobbs didn't play last season. I don't understand how he could be Comeback Player of the Year under those circumstances. Russ did play last year. He was objectively not good last year, and he objectively has been good this season. To me, he fits the criteria. So I think Russ should be very much in contention for Comeback Player of the Year. Now, before we get on out of here, big game on Sunday. Who we got? Broncos or Vikings? 2 longest winning streaks colliding on Sunday Night Football. Minnesota, winners of 5 in a row. Denver, winners of 3 in a row. Combined win streak, 8. No other matchup on Sunday has a longer combined win streak than these two teams going head-to-head. Let me know who you got down in the comment section. That's going to do it for us on this edition of the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed our content and you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and click that sub button.